You wanna do an edit like this? Let me show you how. Hey everyone, BlackRed is here. This tutorial is gonna be fun and simple, and we're gonna use Blender, a 3D software that is used to make animations like you see online, and movies and ads from big studios. So first thing, we're gonna have a look on what the scene is composed of. And as you can see, it's composed of multiple objects. We can see the car, we can see the jets, we can see cameras, and we also can see the plane in the background. And those planes gonna be the clouds. So for better understanding, we're gonna check the shading viewport. And as you can see, those planes are actually images of clouds, but in a PNG format. It's better than using smoke simulation, and it makes the project lighter, and in this way you save your PC performance. So first thing, we're gonna open Blender and we start a new file, and then we delete the cube, and then we gonna start with adding the car. So for the car, we can get it from Sketchfab or from Blender Market. We're gonna bring, for example, a Porsche, this Porsche for example, and then we position the camera. Now we're gonna actually match the animation to the song. So we switch this into video sequencer, and then we will find this tab. And here we're gonna add the audio, and then we add sound, and then I add the song of the trend. So it doesn't blow my ears. I put this into 0.1, the volume into 0.1. Okay, that's good. Okay, and then we crop it. So basically, you try to make the first 3 seconds eye-catching, or it's called the hook. So we go here, this is 3 seconds, so the beat has to start here. Okay, that's good. We can make it slightly before the 3 seconds, like this. That's perfect. And after adding the audio, use time code, and then you're gonna see that how long the video gonna be, or from here too. So we're gonna work on 30 FPS, and the trend is like 14 seconds, so we're gonna add frames until we reach the 14 seconds. So yeah, 14 seconds, it's gonna be 421 frames. And then we stretch the audio until it matches the timeline. Okay. So now we go back to 3D viewport, and we position the car like this. You press shift and you right click here, and then you go to view to 3D cursor. It's gonna help you a lot so you focus on one object or whatever you're gonna see. So like this. So whenever I put the cursor, like with the shift right click, it's gonna focus on that point. And that's good for navigating in the viewport. We put the camera in a certain position, maybe to the left a little bit. right now. Okay, another thing, we are not gonna work a video for YouTube that has to be wide. We are working on a trend on the phone. So this is how the format gonna be. It's gonna be 1920 on 1080, but we want it to be 1080 on 1920. And this is the phone format. And then we move the camera like this. Okay, so this is the frame that after the car is falling, it's gonna start the slow motion. So this is not the first frame. This is like the 3rd second when the beat starts. So for me, the beat starts here. Cool. So we're gonna now press the car. Okay, first we need to clean up this before it starts getting messed up. So for the collection, we're gonna press the camera and light, and we press M in the middle of the viewport, and you type new collection, and we maybe type tools, because it's gonna be camera and lighting. For the Porsche, we go to the folder of the Porsche and then select objects and then move M, new collection, we type car. And then we delete this file. So now we have a collection for the car and collection for the tools. And for the car now, the car is moving by using this empty. It's parented, all the objects are parented to this empty. So for the objects, you can move each one on its own. But if you want to move all the car, you're going to use the empty that is linked to all of them together. Before moving the car, we're going to have to put keyframes for the location and keyframes for the rotation, because when the car is falling, it's going to be rotating and stuff. And we don't need the scale, because it's not going to grow up or get smaller or anything. So now we go back to the first frame in the timeline, and then we raise the car up, and now the car is up. Okay, so here only the z-axis turned orange, because it's the only axis we used. For example, like if we use the z and x, for example, like if it went to the right a little bit, you're gonna see both of them turns orange. And that's like an indicator of what axis you used. But now we're gonna use only the z-axis, and we keyframe all of them, because we're kind of gonna use all of them. So now it's gonna be like this. Okay, now it's working, and the car is falling from the sky, as you see. And we need the camera to follow the car. We press shift right click here, and this is where we're gonna add another empty. So the camera follows that empty, and then we press on the empty if not selected, and we press anything in the car with a shift, pressing shift and click here, for example, and then we press Ctrl P and then keep object, keep transform. And now that empty gonna move with the car because it's parented to it. And now we move it a little bit like this, and then we go back to the camera view, we click on the camera or from here, and then we go to object constraints and then track to, and you type empty. Now it's following the empty. That's good. And it's kind of out of frame from here too, so we just click on the empty because the camera is following the empty now. And we move it to the right a little bit. So now we have to add a little bit of movement to the car, like a slow motion of falling. So we press the empty of the car and we make it fall a little bit more, and then we keyframe it, and then we take it to the end of the timeline, so it keeps on moving. Okay, this is a bit of fast, so we go to this frame, so we click here, jump to keyframe, and then we pull it up a little bit. And then we see again. That's so good. Okay. So now we're gonna add jets or anything you want. So like your imagination is the limit in that case. So we can, for example, I'm gonna add this Lexus. Okay. After adding the Lexus, it's the same principle of the other car. It has an empty that moves the car. So we're gonna move it behind the other car, like this, in a way that is seen. And also we're gonna move it a little bit like this, and like this, and then we go back a little bit so it's fully in the frame. That's perfect. So here we're gonna use only the rotation because it's not gonna move up or right and left. It's just gonna rotate on the axis. So we select those, and then we go forward a little bit, and we move it like this. And you are free to do whatever you want. So, okay, so it kind of, there is two issues. It's moving so fast, and it started moving after the camera falling. So we press the first keyframe and we go slightly to the back. Good. Okay, I kind of want the face of the car to be shown a little bit, so we go to the second keyframe and we rotate it a little bit on the Z-axis. And we double click it so it restarts the frame. And we go like this. And it's so fast, so we have to go to the first frame and we already make the rotation shorter. Perfect. So the animation gonna be divided on 4 scenes or 3. So here we're gonna switch the camera, so this car has to keep moving until we switch the camera. So I'm just gonna slightly move it forward because the camera switch gonna happen here. So if I put it here, the car gonna stop moving before the camera like switches. So we go like this and we rewatch it. Perfect. I kind of want it to be slower. So good. Okay. Here we have to go to graph editor after After selecting the Lexus graph editor, and we have to right click it and you choose the mode linear, and also this. Perfect. So it keeps moving on the same rhythm without that bounciness. That's perfect. Okay, there is also bounciness in the Porsche. So the bounciness gonna happen to the empty, that is gonna affect the camera, and it's gonna be a smooth transition. But we actually, in this project, we don't want smooth transition. We want a harsh stop in the middle of the video. So we press the empty of the Porsche, and we put this into linear, and also the beginning, so it doesn't like, so we don't get that smooth falling. I want a harsh falling, and then it stops at certain point. So now we see. Perfect. So we kind of want the Porsche to move right or left a little bit. So we go back to timeline, and then I go back to the to the second frame, and I kind of rotate it on the z-axis a little bit, like this. And then I move this empty to the left, so I keep the frame correct. And now we're gonna make the Porsche rotate a little bit while it's falling. So we're gonna do it like this, and the y-axis, and then yeah, so it's gonna be like this now. Perfect. So for the Instagram reel, I noticed when it's on the edge like this, actually you're gonna see only the, like it's gonna crop it. So we kind of go to the camera and we kind of reduce the focal length into 46, 47, or like you can just move the camera back a little bit. Now we go to the shading viewport and we switch AV to cycles and GPU, because this project is all on cycles, it's not going to be on EV. So now I need to recolor the cars, or I can keep them like this, but I want a little bit of contrast. So I'm gonna press the Porsche, not the empty, the Porsche itself, and then I go to material, and then base color, and I change it to white. This is good. Oh, we actually need to do something. You press Ctrl S, never forget to save your project. So I'm gonna save this project as falling Porsche. Okay, now after adding the cars and animating them and saving the project, we need to add an HDRI. So we go here, or you can bring it from the browser and type Blender HDRI, and you're gonna find them, or you can easily just install this Blender Market add-on. So let's say this one, So now how to visualize the HDRI, you have to go to the rendered viewport shading. And now you're gonna be able to see the HDRI and the cars in a render mode. So now we are actually getting closer to the end. As you can see, like there is the animation and everything. So now we're just gonna do some tweaks. For example, I want the Porsche to be more glossy, so I'm gonna go to shading and we zoom in a little bit. And then we're gonna see where is the roughness, because that's what we need for now. So we put render mode. And we take off this. It might be different between cars. So maybe you will find like this, maybe you will find it just like a simple principled BSDF. So if you find it like this, just take it off, or you can tweak it from here, but now I'm just gonna go for the easier solution. So we put this like this, that's good. For the other car also, the Lexus. For the Lexus, the parts are not like in the Porsche, it's all connected together. Okay, for the shading tab too, you need to go here, view and 3D. But the good thing is the material itself is linked to the parts. As you see here, like there is 26 and those are the parts. So if I wanna change the material of one object of them, I can just click here and then I change it, and it's gonna change only one part. And if I want to change all of them, I need to keep the number here, because it's all linked, and then I change all of them together. So now the same thing, roughness, and it's here like the Porsche. So roughness, take it off, and then we put more roughness on it. Good. More metallic, okay. So now it's more glossy and beautiful. For the HDRI, I want it to be down a little bit. So in the same shading tab, we go to Word, and then we will find the settings of the HDRI. Now to move them up, we will go to the Z axis of the location and we move it like this. Okay, perfect. And now we go back to the layout, and we can make the light of the headlighters stronger. So we click the lights or whatever the material you find. So here, this is the light shape. For example, here it's another thing. So we go, and then, for example, if I make it like, if I put this high, look, everything turned neon. Okay, that's beautiful, but we don't need this now. So what's the problem here? That we moved, like we edited the wrong material. So there is materials linked to each others here. So we go back like this, and we go to front light and emission, and you put, for example, 500. Okay, it's not a big difference, so we go to 1000. It's good enough. Okay, we go to material, and then we go emission, and then 500. Good. Don't forget Control S. Okay, now adding the cars, animating them, adding HDRI, and then we need to do some color grading. It's gonna be so basic and simple. So we go to render and then color management, and then you turn on the curves, and then AGX, put medium or high, depends on the scene you have. So for example here, if I put high, we're gonna lose a little bit of details here and here. So let's go for medium, and then we add a little bit of exposure. For the curves, we put a point here and a point here, and we start playing with the lights and shadows. Okay, good. That's so good. Now for the colors, we put another here and here, and we, okay. For the greens, and for the blues. Okay, that's good enough. And now the theme settings. We're gonna turn off this. This is 300. This is the viewport setting, and we should have done it from the beginning. Now the render settings, we put this as 0.002. This scene requires 350 samples. We can use optics for denoising, depends on your GPU. For the lights, turn off light tree. For light path, put full. For volumes, you go here and you put biased, and then 512. Motion blur on. For the film, you go and pixel filter, and you put 1 pixel. Performance, you put persistent data. And now we are done, and actually those are the settings I use most of the time to render my scenes. Okay, for the FPS is good. The output, you choose whatever you want. For the render, we're gonna render image sequences, and then we turn them into a video. Okay, now for the last thing we're gonna do, or the one before the last thing, we're gonna go to compositing, and we're gonna press a new, and then we're gonna press render. So it's gonna start rendering 1 frame, and we're gonna do compositing on it, and we see how it's gonna look like. Now, after rendering the frame, it took me 29 seconds. we gonna start editing. So we go to view and we zoom out. And okay, good. So we're gonna add a glare. You press Ctrl A. You press Shift A and type glare. Put down the strength. You fade out like this. This is good. Now click on glare and Shift D and move the mouse, and then click and change the streaks to bloom. And we're gonna need a little bit of bloom, so strength up. And we change the tint a little bit bluish. Good. And add more. And add fog glow. We reduce the strength and the size. Okay, this is good. So now we go back to the layout. Now we go to viewport shading. For me, I want the glass to be darker, so I'm gonna click it and then material, and then I'm just gonna make it darker here. That's good. You can make it more darker. Okay, now this is good. Ctrl S. And then we go back to compositing and we check again. Okay, so this is pretty much it. If you want to add any other objects, it's up to you, and it's going to be basically the same animation principles and materials. Honestly, it's an easy thing to make, and I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. And now we're going to go for rendering, so we see the last result. Okay, for rendering, you just need to press Ctrl F12, and it's gonna start rendering from the first frame to 421. An additional information, as you see in the edit, there was a lot of angles. So how I did that, I just, like for example, this is the first camera. I go to the first frame and I press here Ctrl B. So this is the first camera, and then I add another camera, Shift A, camera, and you position it the way you want. So if we want to see this, we just set active. But if you move the cursor here, it's gonna switch to the first camera because you linked the timeline to that camera. So what you need to do now, you go to, for example, 3rd second or number 4 here. Let's say this, set active, and then you put your cursor here and Ctrl B. So you link the second camera to the timeline. So yeah, see, yeah. So we position it like this to look at the car. Yeah, perfect. Like the camera should switch here because the audio is switching there. Exactly. And here I'm gonna switch to the third camera, so I add another camera, Shift A, camera. We look at the car. Wait. Set active. I can do it something that is wait, okay. I like this. This is good. Control B. But we need movement for the car here, so what I'm gonna do is just before and we go here, we move it a little bit. As usual, you put this into linear, and this is linear. Perfect. And this here also we need another camera. Set active. We can zoom in here. We're gonna have a beautiful thing. Yeah. Control B. Okay. I wanted to end here. So we reduce the frame rate. View timecode 373. Okay, so this is all, I guess. Okay, so now this is the end of the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed, and if there is anything that you didn't understand or still missing, or something that I did so fast and you didn't get it, you can ask me on Instagram. I'm gonna be there and answer to every question, or you can just comment here on the YouTube video. Bye bye guys, and see you in the next video.